From the conflict-ridden streets of Sudan, let's now go to the conservative alleys of Montana in the United States. Now, the American state has managed to complicate an already complicated subject. The statehouse has been debating a law for trans children. An existing U.S. law allows health care for transgender youth, which basically helps children fight distress of living in a body that does not reflect one's gender. Now, experts say that these are very sensitive times for a child, so healthcare provides counseling and therapy for such children. But the Republican-heavy Montana House has called for a ban on this, and Montana isn't alone. At least about 500 such bills have also been introduced to overturn this kind of healthcare for children across the United States. So as Montana started discussing the proposed amendment, many awaited to hear Democrat legislator Zooey Zephyr take on this issue. She's a first-term representative from Missoula. But more importantly, she's the only transgender legislator on the entire House floor. And Zephyr did not mince her words.
Driving a nail into the votes that we as legislators take in this body. And when the speaker...
Now, speaking to those who are pushing for the ban, Zephyr said, and I quote her here, "I hope that the next time there's an invocation, when you bow your heads in prayer, you see the blood on your hands," unquote. This is the statement that she gave. The rest of the House was left aghast with this comment. They accused her of stoking violence and of violating the chamber's decorum. So the House took an unprecedented step. It voted to silence the only transgender legislator on an issue that directly impacts the trans community.
The representative shall be disciplined, and the terms of this discipline are as follows. The representative from House District number 100 will no longer be admitted to this floor, House anteroom, or House gallery. The representative has the option to continue to participate remotely by voting only in floor proceedings via the process currently in place for the duration of the session until the 68th legislature adjourns sine die. Mr. Speaker.
So when I rose up and said, "There is blood on your hands," I was not being hyperbolic. I was speaking to the real consequences of the votes that we as legislators take in this body. And when the Speaker asks me to apologize, what he is, on behalf of decorum, what he is really asking me to do is be silent when my community is facing bills that get us killed.
And ever since that statement that was made, protests have erupted both inside of the chamber and also outside of it.
I believe in democracy. I think it's completely wrong that someone elected by the people of Montana is not allowed to speak on the House floor. It's the opposite of democracy, and I think it's important that we disagree. I don't think that what was said is offensive. I think especially in the context that was said. And so, you can stay home, but sometime you got to stand up, and this is one of those.
Now, Zephyr's punishment has ignited a firestorm of debate about governance and democracy. It also marks the first time in nearly about 50 years that Montana lawmakers have sought such disciplinary action against a colleague. What the House did was within the democratic bounds, but in this politically polarizing times, lines are getting extremely blurred every single day, especially on issues that are very sensitive in nature. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.